Today, my name is Brianna Harris.
And I'm Casey McHenry, and throughout the past few weeks we have done our study on the lowest observable adverse effects level of Windex on the Lolium Multiflorum. We will be presenting to you today a little summary of our introduction, our materials, as well as our methods, and also our results and the discussion overall of our experiment. First off, we just wanted to start off to you guys explaining a little bit about our product that we used, Windex. And we referred to the materials, data, and safety sheet, also referred to as the MSDS. And we found that our product of Windex has a pH level of about a 10 to an 11. For those of you who are unaware, that is more basic on the pH scale of level. We also wanted to show you guys a variety of different toxicity levels. So when we were doing our experiment throughout, we decided to choose toxicity levels that showed you a high and a low of toxicity.
Alright, so our contaminant ranged from 10% of Windex to a 90% of Windex. For our experiment, we had a total of 15 pots with 3 pots per trial, all with a total of 50 milliliters of water and contaminant mixture within them. So for our control, we had 100% of pure water, equaling to the 50 milliliters. For our second trial, we had 10%, which was the 5 milliliters. For the third trial, we had 30%, which was 15 milliliters of contaminant. For our fourth trial, we had 70% at 30 milliliters. And for our final trial, the fifth trial, we had 90% of contaminant, which was the 45 milliliters of contaminant. So we passed off this paper to you before we began our presentation to just try to give you an experience of our actual experiment. So Casey's going to talk a little bit about these items and different things that are in these pictures that you have in front of you.
As you guys can see throughout the 3 pictures provided to you guys on your handouts, if you refer to the bottom picture of the 15 pots, you will see one of our main materials. One of the most important things that we used were our cardboard pots. And they're very crucial to our experiment because they held the soil and the contaminant water mixture that helped our plant grow. As well as the cardboard pots, one of the most crucial items that we used was the Windex, as well as the water combination. We used tin foil on the bottom of each pot. The tin foil was very important to prevent leakage outside of the pot because it could have presented problems within our growth and our results that might not have held enough moisture inside the cardboard pot if water / Windex leaked out the bottom. We also used the soil in a plastic container and a plastic spoon, as you can see in the top left-hand picture, to mix our soil with Windex water contaminant. We used the big plastic container to mix around the soil, Windex, and water just to make sure that every piece of the soil was contaminated with the right amount of liquid. We also used a beaker as well as a syringe to find a very accurate and precise level of contaminant. We were very accurate with our water and Windex level to make sure that our results were consistent. And as you can see, we used 3 different pots for each contaminant level to make sure that we had consistent growth. We also used a beaker to soak the Lolium multiflorum seeds, which are also referred to as winter ryegrass for those of you who are unaware. We soaked those seeds so they had enough nourishment and plenishment so they would grow at a maximum level. We also used tweezers to place the seeds not only deep enough down and separate the seeds, but we also used it to make sure that the seeds were about 1/4 deep into the soil for maximum growth. And lastly, we used the plastic tray and simper paper and pencil to make a label for our pot of growth, and we used the greenhouse as well to place our pot for maximum growth.
For our results, as you can make a correlation between the pots that you have on the figure 3 of your handouts, as well as our results here, we conducted our results after our t-test. So our t-test proved that, as you can see, there was the highest amount of growth in our control pots, so the first column of pots here. In the second trial, we had a mean of 7.8 and a p-value of 0.14. For our third trial, we had a mean of 7.8 and a 0.007 p-value. For our fourth, you can see that the growth has began to stunt here, with the mean of 0.007 and the p-value at 0.002. And finally, for our fifth and final trial, we had a complete depletion of growth with a mean of 0 and a p-value as 0 as well. The LOAEL was shown at the third trial at 30% of contamination.
If you guys would draw your attention again to the bottom picture on your handout, the image of the 15 pots, that's where you can really see our lowest observable adverse effects level of the Windex. If you look in the third column, which is the middle column, that is our 40% level of contaminant. And if you look at the fourth column, it is our 60% level of contaminant. Our hypothesis stated that at 60% level of contaminant, the plant's growth would be stunted. So you can see that between the third and the fourth column, there was depletion of growth in the fourth column. We just wanted to give you guys a more visual image. We wanted you guys to be able to experience this experiment with us. We wanted you to see that between the third and fourth columns, that's where our stunted growth occurred.
Great. So as you can see in some of these pictures over here, the experience, like we said, we wanted to provide that for you, but we wanted to jump into like a couple of concluding thoughts. Casey, did you have any concluding thoughts you wanted to talk about?
Just that one of the things that we found really important was the use of Windex and Pledge and Glad and all of those household products that we spray on either our countertops or the outside of our houses to make them look clean. They end up having a very impactful effect on our environment. And as we have listened to these presentations given to us before us today, salt and motor oil and other various household products that we use every day without thinking about how they impact our environment, I think we need to take a more serious approach of how we can make these more environmentally friendly and go green. So just think about those little things when you are using your household products and even the amount of the products you use. So just taking that away from you today, that is what we wanted you to take away from our presentation, and we hope that you have learned that information.
We wanted to leave you also with the final thought that with our product, Windex, a fairly safe household cleaning product can affect the growth of a simple science experiment. What are the capabilities of stronger, more harmful contaminants on our global environment? Thank you for your attention today, and we'll open up the floor for questions.